What's going on, you wild variants? It's your two favorite Loki impersonators back here to talk about the final episode of the first season of Loki. And we've been having a great time talking about this each week with you guys. We just released the past three reviews, episodes 3, 4, and 5. Just got a little busy there, but we're releasing these, reviewing the show, having a great time with it. And it comes to the moment we've all been waiting for this, the past 6 weeks watching the show, the finale, and how it all ends. And the title is For All Time, Always, starring Tom Hiddleston, and Tom Hiddleston.
And I'm Henry Hiddleston, and let me introduce you to this great episode. So it's the finale. Everything comes down to this. We're at the end of time. All this, we've heard about all the timelines. We've been in the Time Variance Authority. So many questions that we still have leading into this finale. How would they possibly tie everything up? Well, these wild boys and wild Loki writers and Tom Hiddleston and Sylvie and all the characters that we've grown with over these past 5 weeks are leading here to the final episode. And here we are, we're at the Citadel. They've reached the Citadel at the end of time, with all the events that happened in the last episode with Alioth and, everything that happened there. And the Void, they had to get through the Void. They had to enchant Alioth. To get past this, we get the big reveal at the end showing the big Citadel. We saw all the great, we saw the great old variants, Richard Grant as the classic Loki, alligator Loki, kid Loki, boastful Loki. So we saw a lot of great stuff in episode 5, and that all leads into episode 6. What's going to happen now? Who's pulling the strings behind the curtains? We had our theories, which we both talked about at the end of the episode. And right away, we're introduced to who it is. They pull back the curtain right away. And we get introduced. It's the Wizard of Oz. Oh, my God. They just used stock footage of the Wizard of Oz. It was the same green dude, behind the curtain there. Hello, it's me. And then somebody said, wrong set, cut. And then they actually pasted in who it is. And we are introduced to He Who Remains. And that's all we know. We don't know his real name. We just know that it's He Who Remains, but we know that it's Jonathan Majors, and we know that he is going to be starring in the Ant-Man Quantumania coming forward. So we know that it is indeed a version, anyway, of Kang the Conqueror, the big villain that's been teased all this time that we've heard, chatted up on the interwebs, who a lot of people theorized, who I figured it was going to be. That was
you called it.
I called it last week. I thought it was going to end up being Kang, and it sure is, although this is a different version of Kang. This isn't the finalized one, but we're introduced to He Who Remains, and it's Jonathan Majors, and we get this whole delicious episode of his dialogue.
He's great.
He is really terrific in this. He gives a Shakespearean dialogue here and just lays out everything that's been happening with the timeline, and he does it so eloquently. He makes everything make sense. And even though you can't explain it, he makes all the timelines and all the Nexus events. He makes everything make sense. And he is telling everything to Loki and Sylvie there, and they have to basically take all the information in and figure out where to go from here. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? How can they stop this from happening? What, they thought the timekeepers were in charge, but this whole time it's old Jonathan Majors here pulling the strings, and we have no idea what happens if you kill him. How do you even go about that? He states in the episode that even if you kill me, you're going to unleash variants of me that you're not going to want to meet, basically, that are a million times worse. So he really sets the stage as the major villain moving forward in phase 4, and Jonathan Majors kills it here.
Literally, he does. And like you were saying, coming out like Shakespeare, kept eating an apple and like jumping around on the desk, like in your face, and they're trying to stab him. He'll like poof, like disappear and be behind them. Yeah. That was a cool scene, like his introduction, and he kind of goes into his own like backstory in like a hologram form. He's like, it all started here, back here. I was a scientist and did this and did that, and he warns them like how bad it could be if they get rid of him. They finally found him at the end of time. Yeah, Loki and Sylvie make him to the Citadel. They're there to take him out, kill him, and he has something other planned. So you see Jonathan Majors' acting chops here. I love him. I only saw him in Lovecraft Country. I know he was in the Spike Lee movie, but he's really great. I didn't really know what to expect with his character. I know he's a really big villain, but man, he was really knocked this out of the park and setting it up for the future season 2 that I had no idea until the end credits.
A great reveal at the end. It's post credits. We find out right away that we're going to get a season 2. We don't know about any of the other shows that we've seen before. We know that WandaVision isn't, obviously. Falcon and Winter Soldier's kind of up in there, but Loki just goes ahead right away and they say we're going to be back. And I'm glad they are. There's a lot of things that they can do, and they can move this story forward. So I'm hoping that it'll start filming soon, so we won't have to wait, all this time pass before we get to see it. Hopefully it's, next summer at the latest. Would be amazing to not, maybe go a year, but that's it. That'd be great to continue this story. And what they set up in this final episode was awesome. And just how everything panned out at the end, where, they have to decide whether they're going to go ahead and try to defeat him here. And we see the aftermath on how it changes everything. It changes all the timelines, everything that's happened. We see all these branches branching out. We see all new events happening, all new possibilities of what can happen in phase 4. This is the introduction to the multiverse right here in this episode. So we're having all these branching events, and it's going to change the universe forever. We get a glimpse of TVA at the end with Mobius and Renslayer there. You're thinking that they're talking about Loki coming back, but they have no idea who he is when they see him again. So
Yeah.
We learn that everything's changed. We even see the statues, how we saw them before with the timekeepers at the TVA there. That has all changed. We see a big granite, etched in the granite. We see a big statue of Jonathan Majors character there on the wall, the big Kang reveal there. So that was very cool. So it just opens up so many possibilities with this episode with Kang and his plans moving forward. Like, what's his ultimate goal? We have a lot of questions that remain, but this episode just really delivered. It really had to tie up so much. And while in the end it didn't answer everything, it just revealed this villain in such a classic way. Like, you want to see where it's going to go from here and how everything changes. And we get a small glimpse of that. But basically the Marvel universe in phase 4, it's never going to be the same. And like Kevin Feige and Marvel had teased, this show was going to be the show that actually really did change everything. We saw obviously the events of WandaVision with Doctor Strange, how we're going to see that come into play. Well, Loki really sets up the big villain for this phase 4 and the possibilities of all the different versions of him, and how devious and evil and how much chaos he can cause for these characters. Really sets the stage, they set the stage for Thanos in the Avengers movies. So I can't wait. They really did a great job introducing him, and they gave him pretty much the whole episode to do so.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery behind it. Like when we're introduced to Thanos for the first time, being introduced to this character, Jonathan Majors' character, there's a lot of mystery behind it. We just get a glimpse of what he is and what he's capable of, and it sets up the next season and how it can be, the multiverse, how you're talking about. You can tie into Doctor Strange. There's so much they can do with this, and do with this villain. He can even show up in the movies, and I'm assuming he will. But really a lot of possibilities here, and it really blew my mind how it all ended. I didn't really predict what was going to happen with that character you did last week, but I thought it was going to be Doctor Doom, but it was somebody completely different. But they did a really excellent job of the show. I didn't know what to expect each week. It got weirder and weirder, but really good at the same time. It really kept my interest, and it made me scratch my head a lot trying to figure out everything that's going on. But they really, tie up all the loose ends at the very end of this episode. I like how they went out with it and introducing a character, a person's going to be showing up in the future season. So I had a really great time with Loki. I would say it's probably my second favorite. I think I like WandaVision a little more just because I love sitcoms. So I had a better time with that. But this show was really great across the board. No really big complaints. And Tom Hiddleston was really fantastic. Seeing a different side of Loki and what he goes through, Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, and all the people they introduced in this series. With that being said, the final episode 6 of Loki, 4.5 out of 5 Tom Hiddleston hair pieces.
Episode 6 changed things forever within the Marvel universe, and for that, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 Kang the Conqueror hair pieces. I had a great time with the whole series as a whole. I loved how they wrapped it up here in this episode 6. I love the dynamic between Sylvie and Loki. They really played well off each other. Their relationship really had tied into everything that happened here. Them being together, they're finding kind of love and trust in each other in a way, set up everything that happened, with the Nexus event, trying to figure out who is behind it all together, just using their wit, and their chemistry was really good as well. And they sort of, they changed each other forever. Really, we're getting a Loki here, seeing how he's, been an asshole in the past. He's always stabbing everybody in the back at the end. And with Sylvie, she, through their conversation and their journeys together in the show, they learn a lot about each other, and it teaches Loki a lesson here. Like, moving forward, he's going to be different. He's going to try to atone for the sins of his past, for all the times he's been an asshole and stabbed everybody in the back. So we're getting Loki's kind of resurrection. He's going to change from here on out. His devious ways are probably over in a lot of ways. Now we see a Loki that's more wise. So he's going to be one of the heroes in phase 4. So I just had a great time with those two, especially introducing Owen Wilson's Agent Mobius character. I really enjoyed him as well. He didn't have a lot of like big scene stealing moments or anything, but the way he played the character was very in line with the TVA. I believed him as a TVA agent. I liked all his interactions with Loki, just how he's trying to use Loki, for his purposes, but also they're able to teach each other some valuable lessons and, sort of find redemption in each other by the end of the series. So I had a great time throughout the series. WandaVision was really strong overall. I don't know. I'd probably give WandaVision a little edge on Loki, but I had a great time overall with Loki too. I loved how the series played out. All the timeline stuff was pretty mind-bending. I liked how they could go back and forth throughout the future. Just all the different variants of Loki. I thought it was really clever. So had an excellent time watching this 6 episodes. It was only 6 episodes, but it felt like a whole 10 episode season with everything that happened. There's a lot of stuff there, a lot of material, and they did a good job, making it concise, making each episode really count towards the overall, story here and moving things forward in this next universe. Overall, I think I'd give the first season of Loki, and yes, we will see a second season. I'm very excited about that. I'll give it a strong 4 out of 5 Loki hair pieces.
Yeah, when you were giving your review, I was thinking about it. I would probably go in the same line here, giving it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. Didn't know what to expect. I had a fun time with it. I think episode 3 was my least favorite, but the rest of the episodes are really great. I love how they end this, introduce this character we're going to see in the future, the multiverse of different timelines, the sacred timeline, the TVA, the timekeepers. Owen Wilson's characters is probably the most surprising out of any characters in TV shows this year. I thought he was really great. I went in with low expectations for his character, but he played it straight. He played it fun, and he worked well with Loki and Tom Hiddleston in this series. And hopefully we'll get to see more of him in the upcoming season as well.
I don't even think he gave out a single wow in the whole thing.
No, he played it straight. Yeah, there was like no comedy. Yeah. There were a few chuckles here and there, but I think he played it pretty straight, which is unusual for him. But showing some acting chops, I was impressed with Owen Wilson. He did a great job, and then hopefully we'll see him again. But yeah, with that being said, the overall series had a great time with it. Looking forward to more, Disney Plus shows, Marvel shows coming out in the near future, how that's all going to tie in together. So that being said, I'll give Loki the first season a 4 out of 5 Owen Wilson hair pieces.
We did it. We covered Loki, the first season of Loki. What a lot of material to sift through. What a lot of exposition there. What a lot of beautiful shots of Tom Hiddleston as Loki. What a great looking man. What a great actor. Really great performances in this series. Even some of the lesser, the characters that we didn't really talk about really did a good job by the end. Renslayer had a lot to do there. She might even end up being Kang's right-hand villain there for him to sort of do some of his dirty work. Yeah, sidekick. We don't know what's going to happen with her. There's a lot of questions moving into season 2. I really can't wait to see season 2. It's gonna get crazy. Can't wait to see this universe really kick off. We got a couple Marvel things this weekend with Black Widow and this. So I'm very happy with phase 4 and how it's began with these shows. And we're going to have a couple coming very soon. We're going to have Marvel's What If starting in August. So stay tuned for us reviewing that. We're going to have to cover that. least the premiere episode for that. And of course, we're going to have Hawkeye coming soon, and we're going to see another character that we just saw in Black Widow come over to Hawkeye. So I'm very excited to see her come over and be on a Disney Plus series and see her character move forward in this universe. Had a great time reviewing Loki with you, mate.
I had a great time with this as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our ramblings and reviews of Loki and our insight. We're not, really experts with the source material and all the comics and things like that, but it's basically our honest opinion, what we liked, didn't like about the series, much like all of our reviews. And that's why we love doing it here at Cinephellas. We're honest people and have fun talking about entertainment, movie and TV shows. Me and my best mate here and our good friends in the Cinephellas boys sharing our thoughts. But I'm looking forward to the future on Disney Plus. A lot of great content always coming out. What if we have Hawkeye coming out and other movies and TV shows to talk about as well. So looking forward to the future. If you guys haven't already, hit subscribe below. We also have our pages over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And check out our website, cinephellas.com. Uncle Kev just posted his review of Black Widow, the brand new film that just hit Disney Plus. Oh, Scarlett herself and little Florence Pugh playing the new, I guess, widow. I don't know. But yeah, check that out. His full review is on our website, cinephellas.com. We got plenty of more videos and content coming very soon right here on our YouTube channel. Woo!
I can't wait for more. I can't wait to talk about more great Marvel series to come with you. These 3 series that we've seen so far from Marvel have knocked it out of the park. Can't wait for them to continue the momentum and get us into phase 4. So these 2 wild boys need to move on to some more material. We got a lot of things to review and talk about. So until our next wild review together, it's been great, Logan. I'll see you next time, buddy.
Talk to you later, Henry, Loki, Hiddleston.
God, it has such a nice ring to it. I love it. Logan, Loki. Love you, mate. And we love you guys. Thanks for following us. Until our next review, we are signing out of Cinephellas Studio and the Citadel at the end of time behind Uncle Logan. So, like we like to say, cheers!
Until next time.